Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us here today. I know we're missing a handful of people. I didn't realize it was spring break for some folks today, but thank you for joining us. And for those in TV land, thank you for joining us as well. I am Vice President Teresa Flynn of the MWRD Board of Commissioners. Thank you for being here this afternoon. But before we get started, would you please rise and join me in honoring our flag with the Pledge of Allegiance? To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. Thank you. First, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues on the Board of Commissioners that help support these resolutions and these events around the calendar. Firstly, President Carrie K. Steele, our Finance Chair, Marcelino Garcia, our Commissioner Precious Brady Davis, our Commissioner Yumika Brown, Commissioner Cam Davis, Commissioner McElroy Kirkwood, who is here in the front lines here, picking up her cell phone right now. Commissioner Ada Carrell Sepulveda, who is here as well. Thank you for joining me. And Commissioner Sharon Waller. As we celebrate Women's History Month right here in the Barbara J. McGowan main office building, we take the time to recognize the vital contributions of women, not just throughout history, but here at the MWRD. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from some of these remarkable women who are making a difference at the MWRD and beyond these doors. I would also like to thank you for spending your lunch hour with us. We have a jam-packed hour of excellent information planned for you, and I know we can go longer. But before we start, I would also like to give a shout out to the dads, the stepdads, the father figures in our girls' lives, the dance dads. Tom, you know who you are. The coaches, the scout leaders, the dads that explain fractions. The time spent with our girls is so valued, and the lift from you is fuel, sparking these young women. Our first speakers work for the district's IT department. Birute Sonta and Divya Rehal will be offering practical tips for online safety and letting us know how to protect our identity. Duggan Sisters will present next. They are the pioneers in promoting natural, non-toxic personal care solutions that align with the principles of environmental stewardship and public health, both key practices of the MWRD. Finally, we will hear from our own MWRD police officer, Marilyn Cruz, who will share strategies and enhance your safety and provide actionable solutions to help you stay informed and empowered. And next up, I'd like to introduce my Commissioner McElroy Kirkwood. Thank you. I'll be back up shortly.
Thank you, Vice Chair Flynn. I am Commissioner Beth McElroy Kirkwood of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation Board of Commissioners. Thank you for being here this afternoon. And with that, I'd like to welcome Birute and Security Analysis Divya. Birute is a senior security analyst bringing extensive expertise in safeguarding critical systems and protecting against evolving threats. Her leadership and dedication have strengthened our security framework, ensuring a safer environment for all. Divya is a security analyst whose commitment to cybersecurity and risk management helps keep our organization secure. Her work highlights the importance of vigilance and innovation in today's ever-changing security landscape. Please join me in welcoming Birute and Divya.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Before we kickstart this Q&A, let me quickly share a glimpse of some of the fun and exciting work we do here in the MWRD's IT Security Operations Center, or SOC. Our primary objective is to protect and support the district's mission by mitigating cyber risk through security strategies, IT policies, and adherence to industry best practices. To strengthen the district's security posture, the SOC team actively develops and delivers security awareness and training programs for district employees, performing ongoing risk assessments and compliance tasks. To keep our system secure, a typical day in our lives involves analyzing risky user behaviors, conducting threat assessments, account creation and access management, software analysis, and more. A key component to our mission is the recognition that you all, the end users, are the critical last line of defense. You each play an important role in keeping your organization secure, and we'd like to share some tips on how to do so. Keep in mind that the following slides are content rich, and for your convenience, detailed information is provided in the handouts at the back of the room. And as the newest member of IT security, I'll now go ahead and turn things over to the most seasoned security professional on our team, the brilliant Birute Sonta.
We have a tremendous amount of information to go through. We were given a list of questions that we need to answer. So we're going to ask that you wait until the end of our presentation to ask any follow-up questions. So we're going to try to blast through this as fast as we can and still be formatively useful. So the first one we had was, how do you determine that your accounts, social or otherwise, have been hacked? Well, the first thing is if you can't log into it. If you're absolutely 100% sure that you know what your password is and you're typing the correct one in and you still can't get in, there is a possibility that someone has gotten into your account. Another things to look for is your followers or friends lists have some suspicious or random connections, some unauthorized logins from unauthorized locations. You might notice strange behavior. If you do manage to log in, but you still see that there's like strange behavior with your account, random messages getting sent out, things that you know you didn't do, that's an indicator something's wrong. Friends and followers tell you that they receive stuff from your email address that you swear you did not send. Or I've gotten these in the mail. You get a letter that says, oh, your information has been violated. We're so sorry. So, a company will tell you that there's been a breach. So what do you do about this? The first thing to do is change your password if you're able to. If you try the first time you can't get in, you can always try the forgot my password function to try to get in. If you still can't get in, contact the platform of whatever the social media app is that you're working on and ask them for assistance. You need to lock that thing down as fast as you can. Notify your contacts that your account has been hacked. Tell them not to click on any links in any emails they may have received. Once the whole thing is cleaned up, you can then go back and tell those same people, oh, it's okay now, it's cleaned up. You can read my emails safely. Make sure your security software is up to date and scan your device for malware. And most importantly, contact people who can help you. If you think your bank account has been breached, call the bank right away. Don't wait on that. Sometimes you can log into your bank account and lock it down right away yourself, but take action immediately. Don't wait. So our next question is, computers and accounts are constantly being hacked every second. How do we ensure that we keep our devices safe and secure? Well, first of all, and we are constantly repeating this here in our own training here at the district, use long, complex, unique passwords. You know, the advice right now is to use these random strings of characters and not recognizable words. But if you're a person who can't cope with random strings of characters, my advice is use a long passphrase. Make sure it's complex. Capital letters, lowercase letters, numbers, symbols. The more complicated, and the thing is the length of your password. So that's why we're saying use a passphrase. The second thing we're going to urge you to do is to switch on multi-factor authentication. Most people think multi-factor authentication is a royal pain in the derriere, but it will save you. If someone's getting into your account, they can only go so far if you've already got MFA kicked in. So even though you might not like it, please kick in the multi-factor authentication. You need to learn to identify phishing messages. We have training here at the district relatively frequently. This, and we need for people to think before you click on something. If you get an email and it's got links in it, you don't just start clicking on the links. We're going to tell you, read the email from the top to the bottom, from the sender's address to the subject line, to the message itself, to the signature. If you've learned enough about phishing messages from our training, you will be able to spot if this thing is actually a phish. If you're still uncomfortable with it and you're here at the district, you can always submit that email to the service desk for review using the phish alert button. So you can try that. Ends worse if you're uncomfortable and you're at home, just delete the thing. Don't open it up, and for God's sake, don't click on the links. Turn on automatic updates on your device, whether it's your phone, your laptop, your tablet. And the reason we want you to do this is so you don't have to think about updating the security patches all the time. The machine will do it for you. So make sure that you actually get that done. Oh, what is the cloud? We keep hearing references to the cloud. Cloud is a very big network of data centers that are loaded with all kinds of hardware and software that deliver services to you over the internet. All these data centers around the world are connected in some way. So if you're so all your devices are gonna, your phone, your tablet, your desktop, your laptop, they're gonna enter this cloud to get to the various services that are there. You can access your bank, you can renew your driver's license, you can store files. Cloud also provides machine-to-machine correspondence. That's why we've got this little server up here in the picture. So basically, it's some kind of machine talking to other machines inside this so-called cloud, which is actually a really big network. The cloud is not fluffy. It actually looks like this. You're familiar with Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. They have a data center out in DeKalb, Illinois. This is an overhead view of it. It's a whole lot of buildings with a tremendous amount of hardware and software in racks out there. And this is what you're accessing, maybe, if you are trying to get to your Facebook or your Instagram account. You're connecting up to some building out here, some piece of equipment out here to see whatever photos you've got out there. So we just want to make sure you understand it's not fluffy, it's actually real stuff. Who can see what's in the cloud? You are in your app. You authorize yourself and other people to access your files. And if you do it right, you'll be the only ones who can access those files. The other person or people who can access your files are the actual cloud service provider, the people that run that data center. But they're legally bound to protect your privacy. So that's not normally a matter of big concern to people who are cloud users. If a hacker gets access to your account because they successfully phished you, or you have a weak password and they managed to break it, yeah, they can get into your files. Government agencies, in some instances, can get to your files, but there's a lot of legalese surrounding the way they can get access to it. So if they try to do that, then they've got to go through a lot of hurdles in order to get to your files. Why is it important to back up your computer when there's the cloud? Well, the first case is if you've got your laptop and you want to save some extra files, you can save them up to the cloud, and that's your backup. In the other instance, you've got an app that's already in the cloud. What are you going to do? How are you going to safeguard the data that's up there? you have to worry about things going wrong up in the cloud too. If a tornado takes out some of those buildings in DeKalb, poof, there went your data, or at least your access to that data until they can restore it. So, and this is one of the reasons why you might want to consider, if you have cloud-based storage from an app that you're running up there, bring it down to earth, save your data on a USB or some other device. There's always human error. You screw up, you hit the wrong button, you've deleted something. You'll be able to get it back if you've got a local backup, a lot faster than if you have to deal with the cloud backup. Data centers, like the Meta one, are vulnerable to hackers also. So something could go wrong with that facility, and then you'll get that letter in the mail. So if it's about risk. What your idea of risk is relating to your own data. If you really, really, really need what's stored up there in the cloud, make a backup down here on Earth on your USB or whatever. Some places like hospitals do have compliance and regulatory requirements. The government says you have to maintain this data and you have to save it. So they will back up the data for you, but they've got extra backups, not just what's in the cloud. Is there a way to restore deleted items? Yes, but there's a very small window of opportunity. You can check your recycle bin or your trash bin. You can restore your data from a backup that you made with a USB device or up in the cloud. Places like the district do perform backups of their systems. So if you're here and you need some data restored, contact the IT service desk. They'll try to work that out for you. Can you set email accounts or text accounts to retract items sent in a short window of time? Outlook, Gmail, other mail services, most of them do have some kind of recall feature. But the trick is you have to make the decision to recall it very quickly. You can't sit on it because by the time you decide to recall the thing, the person on the other end may have already read it. So the big thing I'm going to tell you is this: think before you click. Think before you send the thing. If you are all a Twitter over something and there's a lot of anger in your email, take the time to take a breath, think about it, take a walk, ask a close friend to read your email. And when that person says, oh, I wouldn't send that, you know that you're on the wrong track and you should rephrase whatever you've written before you send it. So especially if you're dealing with sensitive information, because you might not be able to recall it fast enough. Someone will have read it. Once the thing's out on the internet, it's gone. Okay, here we go, Divya. You're up.
All right. One of the questions we received was, is it really safe to keep Apple Wallet on an iPhone? Believe it or not, Apple Pay is technically safer than using a physical credit card. That's because your card number isn't shared with the merchant or even stored by Apple. You might be wondering, how can that be when I literally just entered my credit card numbers or scanned the card in Apple Wallet? Well, if you've seen Severance on Apple TV, you know that the work is mysterious and it is important. Think of Apple Pay like the show's work-life separation. Just like an innie is cut off from the outside world, your actual credit card number stays hidden from Apple and merchants. Your card information is validated by the issuing bank, generating a token called a unique device account number, or DAN, which is encrypted and stored in your device's secure element. A chip that's isolated from the main processor, even if your phone is lost or stolen. So no one can make a transaction without your Face ID, Touch ID, or passcode, which is required for Apple Pay use. Another reason to set up these authentication features and enable auto lock. All that being said, no service is completely risk-free. To prevent potential exploitation with digital payment systems, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency urges users to review advisories and leverage automatic updates on all devices. What risks are there to using public Wi-Fi, such as at Starbucks or at airports? Even with passwords and encryption, connecting to the same network as a malicious actor increases your potential exposure to data breaches, privacy violations, and even malware or virus infections. Hackers can also set up rogue hotspots or fake Wi-Fi networks to trick users, so avoid connecting to those networks named Evil Genius or other questionable names. What does it mean by internet not secured? Sometimes the best things in life are free, but I like to believe that the best things in life are secure. Your hard-earned savings in a bank account, a juicy secret that only you know, your stash of candy that's hidden in a locked cabinet. Now, would you want to add a card to Apple Pay on public Wi-Fi? Would you ever write down your credit card information on a postcard and mail it for anybody to read? Of course not. What makes public Wi-Fi risky is when it lacks encryption or password protection. Similarly, internet not secured refers to data transmission over any connection that lacks encryption, like an HTTP website rather than one with HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which encrypts the data exchanged between your device and the site. So can somebody actually receive my message or emails? Unfortunately, yes. There's a possibility that someone at Starbucks is trying to harvest your data. They could be deploying scanning bots and trying to spy on weak networks to capture passwords, emails, and personal messages. Much like with a public postcard, the cyber intruder could be monitoring and altering your communication without your knowledge. But to mitigate these risks, think of your data as needing a sealed, trusted envelope. When out and about, use a reliable virtual private network or VPN to encrypt your internet connection. And you want to choose a VPN provider that is known for using strong encryption, like NordVPN, Surfshark, CyberGhost, or ExpressVPN. And check with your internet service provider as well, or cellular carrier for recommendations. For better security, use your mobile hotspot when possible, despite the data and battery limits. If public Wi-Fi is your only option, always verify, sorry, I don't see it on there, the network name, and avoid accessing sensitive data like banking accounts, and disable file sharing and AirDrop as well, or Nearby Share for Android. Never accept unsolicited share files because they could contain malware. And by staying vigilant, you can keep calm about data compromise and carry on with your overpriced Starbucks drink. Next question. Are there security threats to the use of independent cash stations not affiliated to big banks? Yes, independent cash stations are automated teller machines or ATMs not associated with a well-known bank. They provide quick and easy access to cash, often in high traffic areas like convenience stores, gas stations, and cash-only restaurants. Here, security threats can come in the form of physical tampering or cyber attacks such as injected malware. Large financial institutions have the resources to invest and implement more robust security measures. The advanced encryption, the built-in surveillance cameras, security guards, and fraud protection. While the payment card industry data security standards requires payment systems to be updated to prevent fraudulent transactions, independent cash machines often lag behind in meeting these requirements due to the higher costs. They tend to run on outdated systems that are no longer supported. So what can you do? You could skip the machine and let a bank teller count your cash for you for a peace of mind. Or say you're traveling, you will need to stay aware of your surroundings. Use only ATMs in well-lit areas during business hours and monitor your bank statements regularly. It's a good idea to inform your banking institution when you're about to travel because they do provide some levels of protection for certain transactions, which you may need to verbally authorize. And if you notice anything suspicious, place a lock on your account right away and notify your bank so they can assist with the next steps. How can I determine if my card is being read in an ATM machine or a gas station? Your card can be read by tapping, inserting it into a chip reader, or swiping. Whether it's the good guys or the bad guys reading it, that can often be determined by the machine sound or subtle difference in the way that it operates. Skimming is a method where cybercriminals use hidden devices to capture card information. And skimmers are often placed in ATMs or point-of-sale systems, and they can blend in very easily. Where skimming targets the card's magnetic strip, shimming, not to be confused with shimmy, targets its chip to steal your money or your data. And this can be very, very challenging to detect. If the machine holds onto your card for an unusually long time, or you see an unexpected charge or message, you should definitely contact your bank and check your, or first check your bank statement or transaction history and see if you see any suspicious activities or unauthorized charges, and as well as contact your card issuer right away. A more preventative measure is to scope the card slot for signs of tampering. When a fake keypad is placed on top of a real one, there's usually gaps on the sides of the casing or where the card is inserted. Always inspect card readers for loose or misaligned parts, such as this one up here, unusual glue or tape, crooked card slots, or excessive scratches, which could indicate a hidden skimmer device. Besides trusting your gut and erring on the side of caution, in order to minimize your risk of skimming, remember, swipe or no swiping. Inserting your credit card into a chip reader is safer than swiping, as the chip generates a unique encrypted code for each transaction. As for tapping, as mentioned earlier, even if somebody gains access to a wireless NFC or near-field communication device, the kind used by merchants to scan your phone, they would only capture a token, not your actual credit card number. And so if this is available, the tapping, that's the recommended route. Okay, so it looks like our time is up, but I just wanted to say one last thing. Skip through the slide. We do have a lot of material we went through, and here's a summary list of all the helpful resource links. We have handouts again in the back if you're interested in learning more. And in case you missed some of what we discussed today, yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks for listening to our SOC talk. One quick shout out to the rest of our team, LaShun Osborn, Dana Lacasio, and Patrick Kane. Without them, we wouldn't be pioneering our SOC team into such a powerhouse. So yeah, stay secure and remember, Birute, the cloud is not fluffy, and swiper, no swiping.
Thank you. I can ask questions on that all day, and I really resent that you only refer to iPhones and not us Android users. So there's that. Thank you so much, Birute and Divya. Representing next up is the Duggan Sisters. They're our next speakers, Clare, Annie, and Mary Duggan. Clare, Mary, and Annie are deeply committed to sustainability and reducing harmful chemicals in everyday products, directly supporting MWRD's mission to protect our waterways and contaminants. Their innovative approach to personal care, eliminating toxins, and embracing refillable packaging has already prevented more than 895,000 single-use plastics from ending up in landfills and waterways. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. By prioritizing safe, environmentally responsible alternatives, they not only contribute to healthier communities, but also set a powerful example of how businesses can drive meaningful environmental change. Their journey of overcoming health challenges and advocating for cleaner living has inspired countless individuals to make informed choices that benefit both personal well-being and the planet. Claire, Mary, and Annie's insights will highlight the significant impact and small lifestyle changes can have on water quality, sustainability, and community health, making them a perfect fit for MWRD Women's History Month event. So please join me in welcoming the sisters. Thank you.
We really want to thank the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. I have been practicing that for about 2 weeks. And usually I get it wrong. I think I got it right. Thank you for the honor. Really and truly, we are touched that you would bestow this honor on 3 sisters who have spent the last 16 years making deodorant in their basement. I'm guessing nobody else was available, right? No astronauts, no Kardashians, right? I'd like to introduce you first. I'm Mary Duggan. I'm the oldest sister and the founder of our company. And this is my sister, Annie. People usually think she's the oldest, which I think is sad. She's younger than me. And anywho, and this is the youngest of the 11 Duggans. This is our sister, Clare. So anywho, let's hear it for Women's History Month, okay? But hey, let's all agree to drop the word month, right? Women make history every day of the month, and they have been making history since the beginning of time. And while we're at it, my apologies to the gentlemen around, let's drop the word history, right? Because we're here to talk about, we're not here to talk about his story. We're here to celebrate her story, right? And for today, that's the story of 3 sisters who decided 16 years ago to set up shared housekeeping in a 1,000 square foot cottage on the south side of Chicago. Anyone who cannot imagine living with their sisters in a 1,000 square foot cottage, okay? Anywho, we decided to pool our very limited resources and combine whatever talents we possess to build a business. The fancy French word for building a business is entrepreneur, or put more simply, people who correctly identify a need in the marketplace. Entrepreneurs identify a problem and then they solve it. And they have to do it better than anyone else has ever done it if they want to succeed. For the Duggan sisters, that problem was deodorant, or more specifically, natural deodorant that actually works. Right? Some of you might remember 16 years ago when the only natural deodorant available was called Tom's of Maine, which not only it didn't work, it made most of us smell even worse than before we put it on. That's all that was available in the marketplace 16 years ago. Now, the sisters knew a thing or two about armpits and BO and the danger of chemicals and deodorants, because for years we'd been studying naturopathic medicine, and we had done that to address our own very serious health issues, where multiple forms of autoimmune conditions. We ended up studying with a heavy focus on lymphatics. That's the 75% of your body that's water that moves continuously inside through your lymph nodes to keep the inside of your body cleansed and purified from toxins. And so, we'd already cleaned up our own act and developed a simple, clean, dry deodorant that we used successfully for years. But that is not the same thing as taking a product to market. Capturing market share meant hitting every mark every time. It meant creating a product that was not only free of deadly chemicals, but that would actually consistently outperform the chemical deodorants. So we were not just competing with other naturals. We had to compete with the chemical industry. We had to offer impeccable ingredients, and that meant sourcing all of our oils worldwide, right? We study crop reports from New South Wales on a regular basis and meet with our botanists there to make sure we have the most impeccable oils in our products. We had made a very firm decision that all of our ingredients would be actives, meaning there is no filler in any of our products. As lifelong environmentalists, it meant being refillable, our biggest challenge of all. We were the very first to achieve refillable deodorant on the marketplace, and we did that with a stainless steel decanter. You buy it once, you refill it forever. Life stinks, but you won't. Market also meant refill bags and travel size clothes containers, and our one and only Stink Stick, a roll-on of compressed deodorant oils that boost coverage to accommodate big stinkers. Then we had to go with multiple infusions, strength options, you get it. Soon our little deodorant grew into an 18-part line with professional labels. And then we had to market test. And so we hit the road. We started in parish festivals, advanced to the farmers markets, garnered slots in high-end art shows, and climaxed our 18-month assault at Chicago's one-of-a-kind show, their first ever inclusion of a personal care product. We had made that year 89 appearances, and we were ready to drop. But our products had stood up to testing in the marketplace, and we were primed and ready to advance to the next level, getting on store shelves worldwide. The most important feature of market testing is engaging in face-to-face conversations with your customers. Conversations that confirmed for us that we were on the right track. Parents told us stories of kids being bullied because they smelled. We were horrified to hear about children as young as 3 years of age needing deodorant. School teachers were sending notes home to parents saying your children will not be allowed back into class unless they are wearing deodorant. These notes were going out to the parents of third graders. Okay? Young professionals, men and women, confided in us about the embarrassment of hyperhidrosis and the drastic measures that they were taking. They were having Botox shot into their armpits. This is thousands and thousands of dollars per armpit, and it's a toxin. It's a powerful toxin. And when that didn't work, and it usually didn't work, they were going in to surgically have the lymph nodes in their armpits removed, right? So you take a lymph node out of your armpit, you no longer have a healthy armpit or breast, because that's what it's there to do, is to keep that section of your body healthy. On and on, we listened to the horror stories. From day one, it was clear that we were not going to be a ladies' deodorant. Men were stepping up with stories of breakthrough odor and stained clothing. We were going to have to be everyone's deodorant. And to our delight, the thank you notes and the testimonials of victory against stink began to arrive. We knew we were onto something important. Determined to be, there's my standing abilities. Determined to be taken seriously, because that's very, very important for women in business, that you don't let anyone pigeonhole you into, well, you're just for your community or you're a hobbyist. We knew we wanted to be an internationally respected brand from day one. So we determined that our first store placement needed to be with Mer's Apothecary. If you've never been there on the north side of Chicago, I would highly recommend it. It's the #1 personal care products boutique in the world. And we wrote the owner a letter. It took me a day to write the letter, telling Mr. Cayome why I thought that they really needed to make sure that they had Lifestinks deodorant on their shelves. They were not accepting any new products at that point. And he called me back the next day and we had a conversation. And he not only launched us at Mer's Apothecary, he launched us at Macy's on State Street. Very emotional for the Duggan Sisters, because our grandma Liz worked at Marshall Field's, right? For how many years, Claire? You would know better, 30? Right. Literally, I was standing out in front of Marshall Field's crying, and I had to go in and set up the booth. And I was like, oh my God, we're at Marshall Field's. I mean Macy's. So that was our very first store placement. And then we began to attend industry trade shows, which, if any of you have ever had the grave misfortune of having to attend a trade show, Well, they cost the owner anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 per show. In the natural products industry, they want you at 2 or 3 of them per year, which means shipping an 850-pound booth to Anaheim or New York or you name it, and then arriving the day in advance, setting it up, and then standing for 3 solid days and selling to shopkeepers all over the world to try and get them to take your product. But it worked. We did the trade shows. We began to get a tremendous amount of press coverage. We appeared on local TV. We enjoyed being a very popular guest on WGN radio. We won all sorts of prestigious awards. And before we knew it, we were on an airplane to New York City to launch our products at Bloomingdale's. Along the way, we took on another deadly chemical. Remember the big problem in deodorant? There were many, many chemicals in deodorant, but people were most concerned about aluminum, right? Because aluminum is a neurotoxin. So you're putting it in your armpit and it's traveling lymphatically to the brain and very linked to all sorts of brain conditions, okay? So we took on another deadly chemical and produced our 8-part lifestings product line because we beat DEET naturally. With our outdoor camping spray. And it has garnered rave reviews from hikers in the rainforest, kayakers in the boundary waters, and multiple medical teams who have taken it into malaria-ridden areas in Africa. Taking it to the market required every skill we had, and it required money, taking these both product lines. As women, we know the challenges. Please consider this devastating number. Less than 3% of all venture capital is given to women in business. For women of color, that number is less than 1%. Okay, take that in. Business is run, the fuel for that machine is money. And we only have access to 3% of it. So how did we remedy that? We blogged, which might seem really crazy, but we blogged. So as we encountered setbacks within our business, instead of just cowering in shame, which generally I'll do for about 2 weeks before I've had it with that, I would blog extensively, and we had a nice little database going. So when Whole Foods recruited us and we were selling like crazy, and then they attacked us and tried to destroy our business and almost succeeded, we blogged about it. When Shark Tank picked us from 33,000 entrepreneurs who lined up in front of the Shed Aquarium in Chicago and ran us ragged all summer and then called us the night before your final discussion with your producer where you finalize what colors are you wearing, et cetera. And they said, "Oh, sorry, ladies. At the very last minute, we've decided to narrow the field a little bit, but try again next year." To which I said, "No, not going to happen." Right? We blogged about it. What did that do? That then got out to our database, and then you go to the next art show or the next art fair or the next farmer's market, and really smart, wealthy women would come up to us and say, "I think you dodged a bullet with Shark Tank. And I know all about the misogyny at Whole Foods. How much money do you need to keep going?" And I would tell them, and they would write us a check. Right? So where there's a will, there's a way. We do what women have done from the beginning of time, right? We work all the time. We work really hard. I'm sorry, gentlemen, we have to be 10 times better than any male-generated product to be seen or acknowledged or sold. Okay? So I always tell young entrepreneurs, if things aren't going well, you're not complaining enough. By complaining, I mean blog about it. Tell people how bad the world has done you, and maybe people will give you money. Okay, so tremendous amounts of work. I'm talking 60 hours a week, right? For years on end. And we began to hit all our markers. What would that be? We now ship to all 50 states. We're in 20 countries worldwide. We won the City of Chicago, the World Business Chicago Export Award. That's 5 or 6 counties in the state of Illinois. You compete with all those entrepreneurs. And it's competitive and it's very difficult, and we won. And that gives us what's called a golden key because they consider us the most exportable product made within the 6 counties of Illinois. We also ship to every branch of the U.S. military, which anyone who has a product that they ship will know. It's really tricky to do. But we had been approached in our booth at various shows by Marines in full dress to explain to us that our product was the single most important product to a soldier, because they could deodorize not only their uniform, which had to be worn a whole lot by, they didn't need to launder it as much because they were an effective deodorant, but ours is dry powder, so they could deodorize their shoes. They could deodorize their feet. And that's a big issue, always has been in the military, is to keep a soldier's foot free of fungus and other toxins. So we said, okay, we will always make sure that our products are available to members of the U.S. military. So we were hitting all the markers. We are not an overnight sensation, but we have survived a ton of challenges. And then came COVID. Okay, so after spending tens of thousands of dollars and years of our lives getting into stores, many, many, many of those stores collapsed. And they were people we've worked with, people that we love, mom and pop operations all across the United States, small health food stores, okay? And they were collapsing all around us. What else was collapsing was the supply chain. Supply chain issues almost destroyed our business. A task that used to take 20 minutes would now be 5-10 days of concerted effort to get one thing happening, because we've got how many moving parts?
We have over 100 moving,
Okay.
30 suppliers.
Okay. And we were completely alone with all the work that we were doing because we couldn't have anyone in our small little shop. We work in an 850 square foot factory, which is our basement, and our warehouse is our warehouse is our garage. And if it doesn't fit in our garage, about 5 doors down is a really nice neighbor, then it fits in her garage, right? But anywho, we persisted. You just push on through, and you just know what matters more is that people have loved ones dying. Keep your priorities straight, and we'll keep the business alive. And actually, we managed that time to go from not only surviving to thriving because we fully embraced online sales. It had been recommended to us when we were young entrepreneurs, and we just didn't get it, that we didn't need to kill ourselves to be in stores because we could sell direct to customers, right? And that has been very important for us. When I get discouraged about how long it has taken to build our business, my sisters all remind me of these grim statistics. 20% of all businesses fail in the first year. 50% fail within 5 years. And 75% of all businesses fail within 15 years. This is our 16th year. Okay. And this year, we are celebrating the Sweet 16. I insisted on these 3 dresses that we bought so that we can have a big Sweet 16 party. I like to tell everyone we look like the fat white Supremes because they're really fancy. They're really fancy, and it's for our big party whenever we get it together to hold the party. So anywho, where are we at right now? We are growing exponentially month over month, and thank God every day for the ability to work together, making products that we believe in and can be proud of. We're still in the basement with the world's shortest commute, and thanks to all of our cherished customers worldwide. Today, we've gifted each of you a bit of our product to help you get started. It's in your swag bag, and we hope you have fun discovering lifestinks and lifestings. And do pick up the phone and reach out to us if you have any questions about it. Claire will tell you later that she's also providing a coupon for MWRD. So anywho, today's honor from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District will always remain a special memory for the sisters during a very special year for us. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.
To make a special offer, you are getting all sent, those of you in the room are getting sent home with both our regular and our extra strength to find out how big of a stinker you are. That's our technical term. No judgment of us. There's actually a stink stick for the bigger stinkers, so don't worry, we can always cover you. There are other infusions available on DugganSisters.com, and for everybody who's out listening in the cloud land. We did want to offer to the MWRD community, we didn't use your full name, we're going to go with the initials, as a coupon on DugganSisters.com. It's good through Earth Day on the 22nd of next month. So if you love the infusions and you want to get full-size product, or you want to treat it, or you want to turn somebody else on, our sample pack is a great way to start. So we welcome you all and hope you'll join our family. So thank you so much. Oh, and I wanted to give you one special number. In Teresa's remarks, thank you for acknowledging our recyclable packaging, or fillable, but I redid the numbers last night, which I do every year for Earth Day, and you quoted something in the 800,000s. We are currently at 970,994 single-use plastics that we kept out. So together, we can't do that alone. We came up with the idea, but it's people supporting businesses like that, people refilling their product. Our customers did that. So together we can make a difference.
Close to 1 million.
We're this close to 1 million. Let's get there. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Commissioner Karel Sepulveda with the MWRD Board of Commissioners. And I want to, as chair of the IT committee, I want to really appreciate Birute and Divya for showcasing our in-house talent and how we can stay safe. And as a victim of the Tom's Deo stink, I really appreciate the Duggan Sisters' persistence and perseverance. I'm very excited to try your product because I once tried to go natural and it just was not working out. Then I'm back on the chems and I'm going to you. I'm going to try that stuff out. Thank you so much, Claire and Mary. Our final speaker is here to share her expertise in personal protection and situational awareness. Since 2012, MWRD Police Officer Marilyn Cruz has played a crucial role in maintaining the safety and security of MWRD facilities, employees, and the public. As an active field training officer and juvenile officer, she is committed to mentoring and guiding fellow officers. She also serves as vice president of the MWRD FOP Lodge 123 and has taken on the responsibilities of officer in charge when needed. With her knowledge and skills, Officer Marilyn Cruz will provide practical strategies to help you stay alert, be confident, and be prepared in any situation. Welcome, Officer Cruz. As someone that took self-defense before going off to college a few years back, I really do encourage you, pay attention, because I once actually had to put this stuff into practice. And by God, what I learned in 15 minutes, I put it into practice and it saved my life and it saved a friend's life. So pay attention.
Thank you once again for coming and for even listening to me, because this is a big deal for me. So thank you for the honor. For starters, thank you. For starters, being a woman myself in the department, most people usually ask me, if I'm afraid. Of course I am, 100%, but I still have to show up and I still have to do what I do. So these are just a few tips that you can use. I know that you're not a police officer, but you're still out there outside trying to live your life. It's a little short because I'm running out of time. However, I will show you a few tactics at the end as well. Walk with someone whenever possible. If you're walking alone at night, stay near well-lit areas. Trust your gut. Definitely trust your gut. When you're parking your car, if you feel uneasy about where you just parked, this is a little hard for me, right? I'm following this thing, but this isn't me, right? When I'm outside, head on a swivel. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you. It's only going to get you so far. But in the event that something does happen, try to pay attention to where you are. What street are you on? Is it a brightly lit area? Anything like that is definitely going to help. We can't prevent these things from happening, but we could definitely make it less dangerous for ourselves. Make sure that if you are out about You're not on your phone. Make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings. Your eyes should be watching where you're going. If you're minded, make sure that your mind and your ears should be used to listen for sounds that don't make any sense to you, that are different from what you're used to, especially if you're in areas that you already know. Your hands should be free just in case you need to defend yourself or push someone away. A lot of times I see women just walking around with their purses open. Zip up your purses. Don't give them an option to think that you're an easy target. Protect when you're walking alone, walk with purpose. Act like you know where you're going and that you know the area, even if you don't. If you're not sure where you're going, just look like you do. I mean, I do it all the time, I promise you. Don't be afraid to yell if someone is bothering you. If possible, get into a high visibility public location as quickly as possible. Say loudly, I don't know this person and they are harassing me. If no one is around, do not verbally engage the person harassing you unless they try to approach you or if you feel immediate danger. If they start toward you, do not hesitate to scream and yell. People in the area may hear you. Assailants target people whom they perceive will be weak in the moment and easy victims. A lot of times I've learned that women especially are afraid to offend someone. You might give someone an easy smile. Oh, hi, now this person thinks that you're good to go and you're really not. So if you're not sure and it's something you don't want, say that. I promise you, it does make a difference. If you don't have these tools, it helps. Pepper spray, definitely. If you have that, use it. Self-defense keychains. I brought them today for you guys. You get to see that. If you need to use spit, use spit. Anything that they're not expecting is definitely gonna help. You want to be unpredictable, I promise. Should you get in a position where they're a little closer than you expected, there are a couple of tactics that you can use. You can use an eye poke or a claw or a jab them right in here. I know you don't want to touch them, but sometimes you might have to, especially if your life depends on it. Hitting someone in the nose. Oh my gosh, if you've ever been hit in the nose, ooh-wee, that works, draws those tears right away. Crotch area, bending fingers back, that hurts. It feels very uncomfortable. If you can get to that knee or shin, 100%, they're gonna feel it if you're able. Even a jab with the elbow to the back, 100%. A headbutt even if you're able. A lot of times we don't know how we're gonna get grabbed. Hopefully we never do. But in the event that you do, if you're grabbed from the front, a foot stomp, grab, poke, scratch the eyes, upward thrust to the nose, headbutt if they are behind you, jab at the base of the throat. Any one of these will work if you do it hard enough or even if you try. At least try. Your life depends on it. If your arms are free, thrust your elbows backward into the attacker's torso. Foot stomps, shin rakes, those hurt. Backward kick, headbutt, bite, and break the hold, if possible. If something does happen and you do get away, go to a safe and secure place and call the police. Be clear when making your report. Provide as much detail as possible. I promise you, this does help. It's going to make you feel better as well because you gave as much information as possible. Now, if something does happen, hopefully it never does, but if you should find yourself here, understand this part. Adrenaline spikes can take a couple of days to be released. It's called an adrenaline dump. Have someone stay with you. You might still be jittery. You might be rethinking the scenario in your head. Call someone to talk. It may take time for police to resolve the issue, so be patient. Inform neighborhood. Take care of yourself and call EAP. If you're an employee, please call EAP. They have very good sources and they can help. Okay, everybody, this is my assistant, Nikki. I know it's a little different because I haven't actually uniform on, so I have a lot of gear that I can use, but a lot of times, I have a lot of gear that I carry and I can use, but when I'm not at work, these are things that I use personally, so I know that they work. This was gonna probably hurt a little bit, Nikki, but I'm gonna let you grab that. And see right there, this is that's how you charge it. Do not put it directly in your eyes. Anyone. It's okay, you can grab it.
Oh.
There you go. Press that button. Watch their eyes. Watch their eyes. That's 800 lumens of power. If you flash that in someone's eyes, they're not expecting you. Instant reaction. They're gonna back up. It's small. It's a little keychain. Opens bottles. Not bad. Absolutely. Oh, it also has a little stand. So if you're in your car, you can actually set it up. If you need light.
That is bright.
Right, it's bright, right? Sorry about that. You turn it off. It's got a few little settings on there.
It works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also has a magnet in the back, so you can just attach it to keychains anywhere in your car. Anything that it'll stick to, like a refrigerator magnet, same thing. It's small, it's easy to carry, easy to conceal, and it works, as you just saw. Good? Answer your question?
Yeah.
One of them anyway. That's it. Anybody else? Do I have anyone else? I got two more things I can try. Don't be shy. It's not gonna hurt. Commissioner, right this way. Awesome, thank you. My other assistant, Commissioner Ira Coral Sepulveda.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
In case that wasn't enough, and that's just one item that you can use. This is another one that you can try. I'm gonna let her figure it out on her own. Little keychain, absolutely, yeah. Anything else? Looks a little unassuming. Anything else?
It's got this button.
Is that all it has? Easy to use. I know.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, you just heard her, you just heard her, right? Easy as a pepper spray. Exactly, because you know, awesome. I love it. Thank you, thank you. And my personal favorite, which for my chief, I have to say this out loud. You guys can't use this as at work, okay? So please, if you get one, I can't get this one out. I don't want to get in trouble. However, this one also works just in case you happen to get in that position again, and they do get close. It's a keychain. Put your keys on it. It's very sturdy. Good job. It actually cuts right through watermelons.
Wow.
It can cut right through a chicken. Oh, don't believe me, go to Amazon. They're not that expensive. And you can carry it anywhere except the district. Except the district. Okay, I'm gonna pass it around so all of you can get a look. And they have many different designs. So if it wants to fit your style, it fits your car, whatever, give it to your friends, your sisters, your whoever. Okay? Stay safe out there, ladies, please. And pass it around so you can take that. That concludes my day. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Officer Cruz, for all the different tools and practical strategies to keep us safe, which is so important. And we hope that you all had an enjoyable experience with us at MWRD. This concludes our program. I'd like to once again thank Vice Chair Teresa Flynn, Commissioner Teresa Flynn, for putting this program together with her staff, Tom Gannon and Jeannie is over in the back. So thank you so much. We greatly appreciate all your time and engagement. If you need to head out, please feel free to do so. Let's have a round of applause for our awardees, our staffers. Also, Allison's team from Public Affairs to bring this to life. Thank you, Allison. And I would just like to thank the women-owned restaurant, which is One North Kitchen, working with chef and co-owner Laura Piper. So we appreciate all the lunches. Thank you. For those of you who would like to stay, we'll be having a brief awards presentation and photos with our commissioners and speakers. So feel free to hang out and stay for a while. So any questions, let us know. But once again, thank you for attending.